What's going on, guys? Alex here, 1480C, and today I'm ready to do my full review on the TwoSun Knives Vandal, specifically the TS329, I believe. And this is a collaboration done with TwoSun and LuvThemKnives. I'm not sure of his first name. I tried looking on his Instagram and his YouTube. I wasn't able to find it, but it's a collab with him and TwoSun. And these came out late last year, I think, at some point, sometime in the fall. And it's just a big button lock. It's a very different, a very unique knife. This is coming in from the Apex passaround group, which is awesome. I just did some other reviews from Apex knives I need to ship out, and I felt that I had enough time with this knife. I didn't carry it a ton just because it's a big knife, and you guys know me, I do not carry big knives. And this is a huge knife. Basically a pocket machete, and I mean, you can really chomp down and do some hacking with this knife, but it's cool, it's different, and it's very unique. So jumping right into materials, this is, I believe, a titanium frame knife, and then you have these nice carbon fiber inlays there, and the texturing on the titanium is very, nice, very well done, adds a cool grip to the knife. The inlays are, they're almost seamless. I can't tell, a little bit here and there from the inlay, like the transition, but they're very well done. This is my first TwoSun model I've experienced, and I've seen and heard a ton of my knife buddies and stuff like that tell me to check out a TwoSun because for the price, they're very well made, and they're just a good quality company. So this is my first TwoSun. You have a full titanium backspacer with Vandal on it right there, which is really, really cool. It's pretty much from the butt end of the knife all the way up here. Probably covers about 80% of the gap there. It's a relatively, it's a thicker knife, but it's not like terribly thick. Definitely not as bad as it could be. You have the button lock right there, or the plunge lock, button lock, whatever you want to call it. Over here you have a milled titanium pretty much deep carry clip. I really like how this clip works and looks. And you have a ball up here, which is cool. Goes onto the carbon fiber. I like how the milling is done here on the pivot with the screw. Looks really good, and then you can also see that the milling on the titanium really, really well right there. This is has a fuller on both sides, which is how you deploy the knife. It has I'm just going to call this a nice simple drop point blade. It's a nice big, I believe this is like 4 inches. I don't know the exact specs. I wasn't able to find this knife on any website, which I'll get into that with the price point and stuff like that, but I wasn't able to find like an exact spec sheet for it. But I think from seeing it on Instagram and stuff like that, on LuvThemKnives Instagram, I think this is a 4-inch blade, and it's a very, just simple, very handsome looking. I can't tell if this has been sharpened. I think this was with Ray over at Everyday City Carry before I got it, and it looks to me like it's been sharpened a little bit. It might have. I'm not totally sure, but the edge is nice. It has a good, good grind on it. It's a stonewash blade, but it comes down to a very, very thin edge in my opinion. The overall blade stock it's chunky, but not terribly chunky. It comes down, like I said, to a very thin edge. It's almost a full flat grind, but you have the fuller here, and you kind of a swedge right here. You do have a choil. I lost my train of thought there for a second right here. And overall, it's a big, a unique, very different type of knife. There is plenty of internal milling going on, which is necessary for this in my opinion. On both sides you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 like big, or 1, 2, 3. 3 big like triangle pockets cut on both sides. And for how big the knife is, you can tell that helps a lot. It's not super, super heavy in pocket, which is awesome. It makes carrying this a lot better, because if they wouldn't have done that, I'm sure this thing would be pretty heavy. Again, I don't know an exact ounce, weight count on this because I wasn't able to find a spec sheet. But it's really nice that they did so many milli pockets in this because it really, really helps. I believe it's on bearings. I think all plunge lock and button lock knives are on bearings from what I can tell. And I think that's all for materials. A lot to go over, a lot to talk about. But yeah, I think I got it all. So next up is action. And you have, again, this fuller right here that is on both sides. So what I found is easiest to do for me is either you just, decompress the button, the lock right here, and then it swings swings the blade free. I mean, you can do the button lock dance. It can be Kevin. But you have to use a lot of wrist with this. I don't, in public, obviously I'm not gonna buy this knife and carry it and use it in public and stuff like that. But I wouldn't want to pull this knife out and kind of swing it forward and then deploy a 4-inch blade. That's just not something I would want to do. But that's how one way you're able to deploy this knife. I mean, it's fun to fidget with that way because you can just kind of bang it open and bang it closed. A little loud. I think my girlfriend's got annoyed with me a few times when I've been playing with this. But that's one way of doing it. The preferred way for me is I was able to find out that I can middle finger flick it, and then you just boop. And I've gotten it, I fidget with it enough that I'm able to, on its close, I'm able to, realize when to let off of the button, so that way it kind of sucks itself back in. Because sometimes, but that was a good example. Sometimes the detent like stiffens really hard, and it takes a lot more effort to get the knife out. I don't know what that's about. I'm pretty sure I've heard some other YouTubers talk about that too, so I don't know if that's just something with the detent ball or whatever the detent system is on this, if that just stiffens up for once in a while, like if you play with it a lot. But the detent is, it's relatively stiff to begin with, so you really have to get a good finger, launch on this to get it pushed out of there. But once you get used to it, it's not bad. And it's really fun to, I mean, it's obviously big, but it's really fun to just, fidget with. You can do this right there. That was, I don't know what causes that, but that was another example of the detent becoming super stiff and being really hard to get out. Thumb flicking it, yeah, you can thumb flick it. It's a little odd though, because I've said this multiple times before, when you have a fuller or a hole that is narrow and long like this, it works better for the reverse flick with your middle finger. It doesn't work the best. I mean, I can do it now just because I'm that good, I guess. Just kidding. But it's harder for thumbs to get in there and to like launch it out. Holes and that are away from the knife work so much better for thumb flicking, but you can definitely do it with this knife. Yeah, I just did it 3 times in a row. That last one was almost a fail, but it still counts. So yeah, action is really, it's different. It's a little bit hard at times, but I mean, you cannot deny the fact that it's just how big the blade is. Boop. Like it's fun to play with. It's fidgety as hell. And if you want to do the button lock dance, you can get on Kevin and do the button lock dance. It's very loud, very acoustic, but it's cool. So definitely enjoy most of the time doing the middle finger flick, but sometimes when that detent like locks up or freezes or whatever, it really can be kind of a pain to get out of there. But I would definitely pick one of these up in the future if he ever did like a smaller version, even a 3.5-inch blade. I would consider buying. But if he did like a mini or a smaller version of this at like 3.5 and like a micro version of this at like 3 inches, I would definitely buy one of these because it is really cool. I like the overall aesthetic of it. Off topic from where I'm, my normal categories are, but it is cool. I just wish it wasn't so big. Excuse me. So next up is Ergos. And it's a thick knife, but it's not terribly thick. It's chunky, not thick, it's chunky. And obviously I can get an easy 4-finger grip on here with plenty of room for probably 2 other fingers if I had 6 fingers. And you do have this landing, sort of choil up here. And I can probably get 3 fingers on the back here. If you're gonna be doing some real precise cuts. I wouldn't imagine that you're carrying this knife to do really precise things. I imagine that you're gonna carry this and probably have maybe a smaller primary or a smaller secondary on you. Because this is something that you're like, it literally, like when you're choked back in this, or you can kind of grip back here, it literally feels like something you can do some chopping with. It is literally a pocket machete. That's what I'm gonna call this. To me, it reminds me of a pocket machete. It feels kind of like a machete with it's kind of like leaned forward, especially if you grip it back here. You kind of have like more of like a pistol grip kind of type thing going on. But it's very comfortable. The milling on the, make sure I'm still filming. The milling on the titanium is really well done. It's textured cool. It's interesting. It gives a really good grip. You know, the carbon fiber is not bad. I don't tend to just, I normally don't like just normal carbon fiber like this. I have carbon fiber like this. I tend to like the more you know, raindrop or shred or something like that, because this is just plain Jane carbon. But it's cool. I think my Carta inlay would look really dope on it. But overall, ergos are great. You know, it's just basically tapered off back here. You do have a little bit of a hump right here, and then you have a, you know, sort of a indent and then a swell and then more of an indent. It's kind of plain, but it's also a little bit different at the same time. But it fits my hands very well. I'm sure it fits anyone's hands very well. It's the perks of having a big knife, is you can just get, anybody that has hands can probably get a good grip on it. But and I'm sure Kyle over at TwoSun Knives and Gear, he has probably the biggest hands out of anybody that I know personally. I can, you know, out of the friend group that I'm kind of in, friend circle, I guess you can say. He has ginormous mitts. I think he got one of these in. I know he went through kind of a hiatus, but he's back doing videos now. So it's been a while since I've, you know, watched him regularly, but I'm glad to see he's putting stuff back on. I've caught all of his newer videos. But I think Kevin sent him one of these to check it out. I'm not positive, but this is a knife that's just built for Kyle. So ergos are good. Wish it was smaller, but for the size of the knife, they fit and work really well. So next up is carry. And carry is an interesting topic because obviously the whole theme of this knife is that it's big. The loop over style, that's actually not loop over style, I'll take that back. It is a milled titanium clip, but it goes pretty much to the butt end of the knife. It works very well. The ball down here has good retention, but the ball down here works very well. Just pops in and out of your pocket. And for how big it is, it honestly doesn't carry terribly bad. I think I carried it once or twice. I've mainly, you know, just fidgeted with it on my desk and, you know, pissed with it around the house. But I did carry it once or twice just to get a feel for it and to see how it did carry. And it's honestly not as bad as it could be. Obviously, it's still a big knife. It's still, you know, it's still decently heavy, but it could be, again, a lot worse. It could be much heavier. It could be much, you know, fatter. Again, I just really wish that they would do, you know, maybe some smaller versions of this. I think that would sell. I think that a smaller version of this would sell out very quickly. It would do very well. But I mean, it sits down in your pocket. You have nothing here to catch your fingers on, get your hand on. It's all, you know, contoured and scalped very well. Titanium is very well done. No flipper tab, anything like that. I don't know. A flipper tab for this thing would be, the detent would have to be, I don't even know what you would do, because it honestly might have to be assisted, because this is a big blade and you'd have to really get some torque to get that out of here. But carries well for the size. I really like the paw clip. I think it, you know, fits a knife aesthetic and how, you know, overall it looks and stuff like that. And for being a 4-inch blade, it carries well. Could be worse, could be better. Kind of right in that middle road, in my opinion. But yeah, so last category is price point and would I recommend this knife. So I don't know what the exact price point on these are, and I cannot find it anywhere. Just before I did this video, I looked on Google. I tried finding, obviously I could probably watch Love Them Knives. I didn't really think about that. I'm sure I could go back and watch his video. He probably has some, you know, information on it. But I think right when I saw him drop stuff on his Instagram about these, I want to say they went for like $100, which is great. I honestly, did I even say the blade steel? I think I went this whole review without saying the blade steel. And I think it's 14C28N. I think, again, it's not on here anywhere. Is it? No. But I'm 95% sure it's 14C28N. I can't believe I went all this time and haven't talked about the blade steel at all. That's my apologies. I think that's the first time I've ever done that. But I think they went for right around $100, maybe a little bit more. And I think that's a really good deal. I mean, you're getting titanium, carbon fiber, a really cool button lock mechanism. You're getting a lot of knife for $100. I could be completely wrong on that, but I think that's what they went for. If I'm wrong, please don't come at my throat. Don't cancel me for it. But I want to say that's right in the ballpark for what they went for, I think that's a good deal. I really hope I'm right, because I think that's what they went for. But again, they came out in the fall, and it's been a little bit, and this took a little bit to get to me. So, but it is really cool. I do like the design. I think Love Them Knives did a good job with it. Again, make a smaller one. I think that would be ideal for a lot of people, including me. One thing I did recently see is on his Instagram, they came out with some M390 ones that I'm not totally sure of how much they cost. I think on his Instagram post that he made about them, he would put at the bottom to like DM him if someone wanted one. I think these were done in a very limited batch. I think that's why they're so, so I don't want to say sought after, because they might be sought after, but so I can't find them on the internet. I did find one on eBay. I think they're going for like $150 is the asking price right now, because TwoSun sells a lot of their knives on eBay. I wasn't able to find them on White Mountain Knives. I Googled, I looked all over the place. So I think that these were a very limited run. I even saw someone on Reddit say that he thought that they were out of a 50 piece. Could be true, I don't know. But it is cool that they came out with some M390 ones. If you're looking for a little bit more premium blade steel than 14C. And I'm sure that there's a cult following on this, because Love Them Knives is, a relatively well-known name in the YouTube community for knives. And I'm sure all of his fans absolutely love this knife, and I'm sure that, it's sold very well. So I'm not sure what exactly is going on. If he's coming back out with some more, if TwoSun's going to do another run. I don't know what's going on, so you have to take this with a grain of salt. I really have been trying to do more research before I do my reviews, do a little more technical specs and stuff like that, but I really wasn't able to find much on this. So, but I will leave a link to Love Them Knives YouTube and his Instagram channel and page down below if you're interested in going to check him out. I'm sure if you enjoyed this knife and you want to find more out about it, you can go over to his channel and look at his videos and stuff like that. Maybe shoot him a DM. He would, I'm sure he'd be glad to talk to you about it. So yeah, guys, that is going to wrap it up here. This was my full review on the TwoSun Knives Vandal, which is a Love Them Knives and TwoSun Knives collaboration. Very cool button lock, very different, very big, very beefy, but very unique. And I'm very glad that I got to check it out. So thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment down below what your thoughts are on the Vandal. Are you like me? Would you maybe like a smaller version? Or are you perfectly okay with carrying the pocket machete daily for your tasks? So let me know down below. If you guys are not yet subscribed, please consider doing so. I would really appreciate it. I just want to see the family grow, and I love talking to you guys. So yeah, leave a comment if you want. So thank you guys again so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.